welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Tulip and Golf. Now, moving on to another interesting case, Kun Tulip. Apparently, on the front page, they talk about this person, Glom Bang Kroi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like one of those AKA. Now, his actual name, his actual name is Narong Unpat, but they call him Glom Bang Kroi. Of course, he's probably quite
Something
famous
rounded.
in the
Glom is mean round.
Bang Kroi area.
Okay.
And they say that this case dated back since the 2001 and is a lottery fraud case which is being well planned, I would have to say. It's involved almost 100 people.
Oh, I mean,
this scam.
100 people got into this scam?
Well, they said that, they got into this scam in terms of making this scam work.
Oh, wow.
They selected the numbers for the lottery itself. So there are 5 culprits altogether that were handed out sentence yesterday. 2 of them actually quite famous, almost like one of those local mafia. Well, one of them is Glom Bang Kroi or Kun Narong Unpat. But another person is Kun Pichai Thep Arak or Chai Kok Samrong, who is quite famous in the Lopburi province. Now they say that the court actually handed down the sentence to all 5 culprits, but with the special interest focusing on Glom Bang Kroi, he got about 6 years sentence altogether. And Supreme Court hand down the 5 defendants jail sentences ranging between 2 and 6, but like I said, Glom Bang Kroi got the highest. As you can see there, this is how we do it in Thailand, probably similar to a lot of places, is you selected the ball itself. Now, normally when you get into this kind of, I guess, selection or picking up of the balls for the lottery, you will have the committee itself to be in there and a few or quite a bit numbers of the citizens that allowed to be in there. What this particular team did, the fraud team did, was that they actually paid 70 to 80 people 200 baht each. These ranges from citizens just, around the area to be there, to be in the selection itself. But prior to being there, they already trained each one of them in Saraburi province at the Kusuma resort about how they would like to learn the trick pretty much. What they did is they would have some kind of chemical in their mouth.
What?
And they would actually sneakishly, I don't know how, pretty much drop down this particular type of chemical into the bowl itself to make a mark.
Okay.
On the ball, so that way they would know exactly which number they would pick.
Can I say this is amazing how they have done it?
Yes, it was. Like, seriously,
I mean,
it amazed me too.
This is can I call it innovation in some sort? It's just genius.
It is genius, actually.
But it's bad. They're playing with a lot of people's hopes.
Very much so. Now they say that this particular case, at the end of the day, after long investigation, the police actually caught on, or the lottery department caught on to this particular operation and able to at least able to get the 5 culprits that actually, what we call the core leaders, you can say the mastermind behind it. Now they say that at this point, the sentence has been handed down between 2 to 6 years, but Glom Bang Kroi would receive 6 years jail term. Okay. So, interestingly enough, hopefully no one else would try this trick. Obviously, people will caught on, but they say that 70 to 80 people were hired with 200 baht each.
200 baht?
But to get into that,
Right.
But then if you know the numbers, then you can buy the lottery, then you probably will get more.
True. Value added job.
Interesting, isn't it? We're clever in a bad way.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Okay, moving on to the next news. We're giving you an update on the protest, the para-rapper protest in Prachuap Khiri Khan province. we'll give you an information about the traffic. But yesterday we told you about the 6 demands,
Right.
the 6 requests
Which
that
will be
the
hard to
protest.
meet.
They had a talk yesterday afternoon, and the governor came out at the end of the day and told the media that out of those requests, at least 3 main demands will be discussed, and we'll try to make it happen within 30 days. Those 3 demands are, number 1, to move the head of the police of Prachuap Khiri Khan area out of the province. So the governor have to notify this to the government. The number 2, which is the starter of it all, about the pricing of the rubber itself and also the pricing of the palm oil. They insist that the governor said that there need to be some kind of tripartite committee set up to talk about this particular issues about the pricing. And the 3rd request is also asking the government to come up with a solution for the farmer that don't have the title deed in the farmland, because some of them actually they're actually farming in some of the national park area.
Okay.
And in order to receive the subsidy from the government, those farmers have to have a deed of the farmland, and they cannot get certified if they have been farming in the national park, because otherwise it will mean the national park will certify something illegal.
That's true.
So it's a bit more complicated than that. So we're not sure how it's gonna go about the farmers that has been doing their business in the national park or in some area that the title deed hasn't been really finalized or concluded. Beside that, the protesters are still on Phetkasem Road at 415 to 416 kilometers. This is by the para rubber farmers and palm oil farmers from the 16 provinces. The blockade is at Bang Sapan district in Prachuap Khiri Khan, and it creates severe traffic congestion.
I
The
can
police,
imagine.
yes, the police trying to detour all the commuters to the beach road, but that they say because the beach road it's not built for that heavy traffic. Some part of the road surface has demolished already, and one of the bridge on that particular road is actually starting to collapse, show sign of damage. So they have to close some part of the detour road, so that the traffic is getting so bad. One of the public bus service providers said that some of the ride actually added another 4 hours to the whole thing. I mean,
That's a long detour.
yes, Bangkok to the south is long already, like 10-12 hours, and now it's add another 4 hours if you want to come and go between Bangkok and the south part of Thailand. And the protesters said if they're not satisfied or if they don't have the conclusion, they will elevate their protest, which the core leader said they don't really have any conclusion yet that what will be their elevated protest. But the police said if they decide to move to close the beach road, that it's called the Bang Sapan Nong Hat Thai itself, that would be really bad. That would mean it's really going to cut off the south part of Thailand from the rest of the country if they decide to do that. But right now the police has summoned all the crowd control police from Nakhon Pathom, Ratburi, Samut Sakhon, Samut Songkhram and Phetburi, about 1,000 officers to be ready if they really elevated their protest and go to many important places, so they try to make sure they be able to handle it.
Right. At this point, I think better be safe than sorry, because you never know. And it's scary when the core leaders say that. They don't know in terms of elevate.
They say they can elevate, but they don't have conclusion yet.
Exactly. So that's kind of scary when you don't know. If the core leader didn't know, then obviously the rest of us is going to be in a lot of
stress and anxiety.
Pretty much anxiety. Now, to another case that we have been followed quite closely is the Olympic shooters murder case. Kun Chakrit Panit Phatikam or Kun X. Apparently, yesterday the police actually called in the parents of Kun Chakrit, Kun Manop, as well as Kun Bunkit Panit Phatikam. These two has to go into the police station yesterday. A lot of reporters was trying to get information out of what is going on, what they're talking about, but at this point, the couple hasn't disclosed much information about it. However, they say that a lot of issues are focusing on the conflict within the family itself. They say that at this point yesterday, I mentioned before that the bodyguards, all 4 bodyguards that actually from the Air Force, they are Air Force officers that work for Dr. Nithiwadi Pujaranyot or the wife of Kun Chakrit. These 4 were actually called in to the police station yesterday to talk in full and detailed interrogation to see what is going on and whether or not they could find any leads into this. And they say that all 4, after they went in, they reported that they normally takes turns all through the day to guard Dr. Nithiwadi, and they receive 20,000 baht each per month to do this particular job. So obviously you can see that they are quite well off in terms of the money to be able to hire all these people. However, the Air Force Marshal, the Air Force chiefs would not say anything about this case at this point. They say that they would rather have he would rather have the police doing the investigation. So the reporter did not get much in terms of information updates yesterday. But what they found is, and it was reported in Thai newspaper, that there has been a talk already that Kun Chakrit or Kun X, before his murder or before he passed away, he actually have an insurance that he bought, and the money actually in that particular insurance itself, the person that's supposed to receive it would be his wife and his oldest daughter, and it costs about 14 million baht.
Wow.
It's worth 14 million baht altogether. So the police still kind of looking into that particular case as well. Now, police already said that they believe that there are 4 people altogether, 4 culprits, and they are closely monitored, at least 3 of them. This is what they say, but that's all they're going to say. They did not disclose to the reporter who these people are, but they say that one would be the one that drives the vehicle itself, another person would be a shooter, and also the person that give him tips or telling the whereabouts of the Kun X or Kun Chakrit at the time of the murder, and another person is the mastermind coordinating everything. But they believe that if they were able to arrest at least these 4, they probably will get to the person behind it.
Right.
So at this point, it seems like it's going to be ongoing quite a bit yet.
Okay. But I feel like it's coming pretty close to the
Yeah,
conclusion.
because they ruled out other, motives quite quickly.
Okay. Another big news yesterday actually is about the meeting between Thai officials and the counterpart in Cambodia, the Thai Deputy Prime Minister and also Foreign Minister Surapong Towichakchaikul yesterday came out and talked about the talk he has with Ho Nam Hong about the pre and post verdict, that situation between Thai and Cambodia of the November 11 that the International Court of Justice will hand out its, I don't know if it's can call verdict. it's consideration whether the interpretation that Cambodia requests the World Court to decide whether the ruling in 1962 is actually still stand, and everybody just kind of getting jittery whether this result will create some kind of chaotic along the border, because remember when it happened a couple years back, if there is some fight or some shooting broke out, it's not just only one or two spots around the Preavihir temple itself. It will be all along the border. So everybody just right now on super high alert. But I believe this kind of made local people feel a bit better when our high-ranking official and Cambodian ranking official actually come together and held press conference together side by side and try to ensure everyone that doesn't matter how the verdict will come out, the relationship, good ties between two countries will stand. And Mr. Honam Hong said that the Cambodia Prime Minister Hun Sen, he asked all parties to be patient and accept the verdict for the sake of peace between the two countries. And a little bit of news related to that. Yesterday, there's a report that General Prayut Chan-o-cha, he has been informed that there will be a meeting of Army Chief of 29 countries in Southeast Asia and Pacific about the Thai-Cambodian legal dispute that's going on right now about this Preavihir temple case. So, interesting. So, but yeah, I think everybody just trying to give assurance to everyone. I mean, everybody on the high ranking from both countries, military and political personnel and even leaders of the countries, they're trying their best to ensure everyone that the verdict doesn't matter how it come out. It should be separate issues from the well-being and the relations of the two countries.
Right. Okay, with that, we're going to take a short break. Of course, we come back and we have a little bit of the political issues to update, especially the amnesty bill.
Yes.
So please stay tuned.